welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa, and today I'm going to be doing a quick video to show you how I created these fun backgrounds using distress inks and stencils to make quick, fun journal cards or tags. Okay, so let me show you how I made these. This one is so much fun. I really like this one. So let me show you how I did it. Now this was on a watercolor. And these were actually on the back of a file folder. The inside was more of a papery kind of substance. The outside was a little slicker, so I did it on that. But I'm thinking that you want to have a paper that's a little more absorbent. I tried to do it on a cardstock that had a bit of it's probably hard to tell, some texture to it, and it really did not want to absorb into this particular cardstock. I'm not sure why it wouldn't. I don't know if there's got like a film on it or what, but you probably have to test some of your surfaces before you know if it'll work. But it seems to me that the best ones are like watercolor or a little bit more porous that would accept the liquid for you. So this was a watercolor piece of paper. It's a cheapo one I got from Ollie's. Heavyweight, 90 pounds, 9 by 12, nothing fancy. Now, I actually have not tried to do it on this one. The watercolor that I used for the other one was a different watercolor book. But I figured this should probably be very similar. So, a couple things that I learned as I was going along that I will show you. Now, I'm going to start with the number stencil one because that one's fun to do. Now, it appears from what I can tell that you are better off having more of a whole background than a solid background. So I tried to do this one, which has more of a stencil solid, and it did not work very well. This one is okay. The holes are a little bit bigger, and but they still had, I think it was enough. The background was a little bit thicker, but I think it's still more balanced. The ones that seemed to work, like I said, I showed you that brick one, that worked pretty well to do it, but it seemed like the best ones are the ones that have a little bit more holes and closer together kind of stencils. But again, you're just gonna have to try it and see which ones work good. Fun to practice, fun to play. Okay, so let's put it this way. All right, so I'm gonna start with putting, now remember, if you've got something like numbers that you want to flip it, so we're going to put ink on a backside of a stencil, and then that stencil is going to go down onto the paper. So for the numbers, we want to make sure that it is facing this way. And I got a piece of slick background paper here, the sticker back sheet, just because I can wipe that off pretty easily. Oh, and I have wet wipes and some dry ones too, and a squirt water bottle. All right, so I just laid out a couple different colors here. Now I found the best thing to do is to have two opposite colors when you're doing these. They really stand out then. Like this one, blue background, yellow letters, really bright and cheerful and fun, and I think it really stands out well. So we're going to go ahead and do that, and we're going to start the background with let's do a blue. Let's do a fun blue. Or actually, let's do some pine needles. Let's figure out what color we can go with it. Green and pink, or blue and pink. I got blue and pink, don't I? I got blue and yellow. Got a lot of blues and yellows. Oh, that was blue and pink. Okay, how about green and pink? Let's do green and pink. Okay, so let's start with mowed lawn, and we'll finish with picked raspberry. Okay, so like I said, we're going to do the back of this, and I'm going to wet the back of the stencil a little, just to give it a little bit of a kind of a start on making this distress ink go. And we are just going to rub it on an area on the back of a stencil. Move this out a little bit. Rub it on the back of an area on a stencil just to start it off. And we're going to just add a little bit of water to it. Move that over. And trying to get some fuzz on here. Okay, so we're going to take this and we're going to put it down on our paper. Actually, I think I'm going to go that way. Now we're going to take a dry paper towel and we're going to push it down to try to absorb any water that might seep up into between the stencil. Now, when I first started this, I would take this stencil off, dry the back, and then put it back down and try to find where it lined up and put the front color on. But as I was going through here, and I think I did the last brick one, I ended up leaving the stencil in place and coloring on top of it, which I think helped it a lot. So I think I'm going to try that again. And we're going to do our best to leave it there. Picks up a little bit of green. And let me close this before I got ink all over my hands from doing this. And of course, I picked this project to do today. And I'm going out with some friends tonight for dinner. And I'm probably going to end up going all inked. So probably not the smartest video to do today. But hopefully I should be able to get it off before I go. Okay, so let us find, do I have a pink dauber? Yeah, so many colors over here. I might have to use, I use this one, it has some red on it, but that'll be okay. What did I pick? Picked raspberry. Okay, so we're gonna get this as juicy as I can and push it down, and I'm going to start with the center and work my way out. And I really think the key to this is to make sure that you don't move the stencil. And I can see in the back behind it where the green is from the original one. So I can kind of go in the same spot. Now I can go past it, doesn't really matter too much, but there's going to be no green around it. But you can also, once this is done, kind of cut it back to focus more on what you were going to do. Okay, I can see all the pink through there. So I think we're pretty well pinked. So now for the final reveal. Very cool. Very cool. And there you go. So again, like I said, I couldn't really tell where the green was, but I didn't get it up there. It might not have been on the stencil, so it really didn't go, but I still think it's okay with it not being in the total background. So we're going to go ahead and clean the back of the stencil off to get the green and get the front with the pinkish red. And as you can see, I mean, I have that, and I probably could be doing it on here and absorbing some of that juice up and then just keep pulling the papers off as I go. Okay, let me show you another one. I like that pink and green. Very fun. All right, let's pick some more colors. How about some blues and oranges? Now, I do have my big ones over here, too. So I have Selva's Patina, which is like I don't have Selva's Patina in there, greenish blue. And how about, I have Spice Marmalade. What's the orange one I have over here? I have it over here. Spice Marmalade. Okay, we'll just go with that. All right, so let's do another stencil. All right, so let's do this one, and it still has quite a bit of plastic on there that hopefully should get some color for the background, and then big enough holes to solid through the front. So what should we do? I think we should do blue for the background. Let's do blue for the background, kind of like water. All right, and again, we're just going to rub the color onto there. And since we're using the ink pad directly to the back of the stencil, I think that makes it want to go more onto the stencil versus when you use the sponge brush, the applicator, which makes it want to go, get a little bit of spritz of water, when it wants to go into the holes. Okay, so we're going to put that down right there, and we're going to take our dry cloth and we're going to push. Now I did see this on a channel. It might have been a short that I saw going by. I'm going to do my best to try to remember. I got to stop watching YouTube videos at 2 in the morning is what the problem is. And save these. So this is not my original idea. This has been done before. I have done it where I will take a wet one like this, and when the ink's on the top, brush it, and that gives like a halo effect around it. That's a fun technique to do. But I never did it where there's an imprint and then the second color goes on the inside. So I thought that was very cool because, I mean, it looks like it's in the background, but then the second color doesn't get on top of it, because you can stencil onto, you can put numbers onto stuff, but it could blend if it hasn't dried well, or change color a little bit. Okay, so orange, spice marmalade. I do have a sponge for the orange, and this one's pretty juicy. So since it's in its place, we should be able to go ahead and put the color straight on there. I really think a couple of things that I've learned is you really got to make sure that stencil doesn't move, because you want it to not totally blend colors wise and have it shift. I mean, I think if it did, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world, but ooh, the big reveal. I think this one's going to be fun. Okay, time to reveal. Dun dun dun. Boom. Oh, very cool. Very cool. All right, so what I was saying, and I should grab the back of, I use this one, that's not really important. So the ink is on the top of there. So you take a wet wipe, and when you're wiping it off, you wipe it onto a card or a background, and you kind of see that the yellow is going in between where the stencil was. And there you go. See, you sort of have like a halo effect, where it's lighter, but then where it hits the edge of the stencil, it gets a little darker. So that's a fun technique. I've done that before on things, and I think that works really well on stuff too. So that is another option when you're going to clean these, is put it onto a second card and make a totally different looking background. I love it. Okay, so we got those two. Let's do another one. All right, let's do this one, which is very, very straightforward. I don't know, it's a cheetah print or something, but all right, so let's do some more darker colors, just because, why not? So what if we did the background, whoops, of, I have aged mahogany, which is like a burgundy red, and maybe like a yellow. We'll do squeezed lemonade. That's a little too bright. Let's do a little bit of a yellow, but a little warmer yellow. Fossilized amber. That should be good. Okay, so once again, I'm going to just take my wet wipe and just wet the stencil down just a little bit, just to get it to slide a little bit better. And we're going to go ahead and put this on there. That really moved well. I like that. All right. Okay. And we're going down. Paper towel. Now, if you accidentally, which I have done, pick up the wet one to do this, you're going to get that halo effect like I did in that other one, because it's going to want to push and make the color go through. The wet seems to, it will pull up a little bit of color, but it doesn't make it want to bleed as much. Okay, so yeah, that, and we want to do fossilized amber, and And I do have this yellowish one. Oh, there's the yellow one. Okay. Get this nice and juicy. And hold it in place. And again, start from the center. And we'll work our way out. Now, I think starting from the center really kind of helps you nail it down a little bit so that it moves. Maybe the outside be a little bit more messed up. And if you have to cut some of it away because maybe it looks weird, it's on the outside versus the center. And the center becomes a little bit more clean. Okay. All right, let's do the big reveal on this one. Dun, dun, dun. That is interesting. I don't think I put enough red on there. Let's see if I can line this baby up again and add this to it. Probably not. This is going to be like... Ah, there it is. Okay. There's hope. That was definitely a shot in the dark that I would find it. Yeah, a little better. So again, I could have taken this and wiped it off, and as you'll see on here, it leaves a background. I mean, it's still cool. Don't get me wrong. Almost looks like little amoebas. But I'm not sure why I didn't get as much of the red background. It seemed pretty wet, but I guess I didn't spray enough water on there. Okay, let's do one last one. And let's do this one. This one has like a cracked, almost looks like a cracked background. And let's do, I haven't really done any purples. How about a purple and a pink? I got pink on there. Orange. Let's do purple and orange. Okay. All right. Let's do this. All right, get a little water on there, and we're going to do the purple on the bottom. So like I said before, this is really kind of an experiment with whatever stencils you may have to see which ones work best for you and which ones don't. All right. I really want this one to work, so I put some extra ink on there. All right, I'm gonna dab it. So kind of like the red, it looks like it should be really fully all over the place on this, but who's to say? Now, when I first did it, I think, like I said, I would, at this point, I would lift it up, clean it off, and try to line it back up, and then do the top color on the bottom. But it seemed to be working pretty good, not moving it. It's just you really don't know in the end if you're going to get less background or okay with the background. And since this is distressed, I'm okay with not a fully engulfed background. I think it looks, I mean, I think it might look bad if it was fully engulfed and just a blob of color. So, okay. Orange, I said, right? All right, orange. And then I'm going to spend an hour cleaning my hands so we can go out to dinner with my friends. Yeah, it's bad. But I like playing. This is fun. Okay, so again, we'll start in the center. And work our way out. And I am going past where I see the purple is, give it like a halo effect of orange on purple. Okay. That looks awful, like it get mixed, but since this is making a blockage of it, it should be good. Oh, it's fun. Yeah, definitely. It's so weird. Not as much purple. All right, I'm going to see if I can not waste this. There's a lot of fun purple on there. Now you could probably do this all on a masterboard or something and just add fun colors to it, I would think. Okay, just get a new wet wipe, Lisa. Okay, all right. Very fun for background. All right, so I'm gonna push this to the side and then we'll cut these out to see what they look like. So I'll be right back. All right, so these are ready to go and I'm gonna go ahead and cut these down. It should fit here, right? Yeah, it'll fit. I think it'll just fit, yeah. All right, so I'm gonna do my best to cut this in half to start. And, all right, so if we cut this in half, trying to leave very cute. Look how good that looks when it gets cleaned up. And you could always, you know, take a corner rounder and round these or make a tag from them. You can always go back and add a little bit of spritz or spray and ink the edges. And what a fun little base for a journal card, right? All right, so this one we're going to start by getting rid of next door's blue. A little bit of the top. I'm not really measuring how big these are going. I'm basically just cutting off areas which I think would not look as good. Then I want to have a little bit more focused in. But I love that. And like I said, a little bit of spritz or spray or something on one of these. Got a little bit of peacock feathers here, and actually I think I might just do instead of a spray, just do a couple drops on here. All right, I'm gonna let that mull itself over in the corner and dry, and I'm gonna pick up these spots right there, and we'll continue cutting while that is kind of drying. Okay, so for these are a little bit less descript. I'm gonna just get them a little closer. I like that near the end, so I kept that. Again, around the corners if it felt like it, add something to it. This, I'm not sure. I might just take a little bit off. I might leave it like that. I like that. Yeah, I am not mad at that. All right, let's move this to the side for a second. And I do have a little bit of candied apple, which I thought might be fun to, since this didn't get as much of a red background. There we go. Clean that nozzle off before I forget. And we'll let that one dry. All right, I am back and they are all dried, so I'm showing them up close. I have rounded all the corners. So this is the pink and green. So much fun. I love that one. This is the one that I did the dots with the peacock feathers. They really, I mean, just add a little bit of texture to it. Very fun. And off camera, I added a little bit of distress spray paint to this one. It's the fossilized amber. I'm pretty sure that was the color of the yellow part that I did on there, just to add a little bit more speckles to where it was white in the background. I probably could have done a purple as well. Kind of like how I added a little bit more red to this one, but very fun. And these are the original ones that I haven't gone back and rounded or added stuff, but I really like this gray with that red. Very fun. Blue one, kind of like the opposite of this one. I think it was a darker blue, like a, that merchant one. Uncharted Mariner. Pretty sure that was that. Another with the pink and the blue. I think that's a lighter pink. I love it. Blue and yellow. This brick one is fun with the gray in the background and the red bricks. And then another one of those number ones. I really like that number stencil. It appears I made quite a few of them. Those will make fun backgrounds for stuff. So, okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this stencil masking technique with using the distressed oxides, and you'll be able to go out and have fun and enjoy it. I have about an hour before I need to go out for dinner, so I think I'm going to go scrub the dickens out of my finger. Okay, well, I so appreciate everyone that stopped by. If you liked the video, a thumbs up would be awesome. And as usual, I hope you all have a wonderful and creative day. Bye for now.